Hello crafty friends and welcome to another card making video. I do apologise for the background noise. It is raining on the conservatory roof. I hope you don't find it too distracting. So recently I asked you what kind of cards you wanted to see, and good luck in your exams, cards came up quite a bit. So I'm going to make one of those today. I've rummaged through my alphabet dies and chosen several different fonts or styles to create the sentiment, good luck in your exams. I've put them on this bit of post-it so they don't get lost. And I'm going to be working on a 5x7" card blank made from smooth white card. This is slightly larger than I usually use, but I think we're going to need the extra real estate. And I'm also going to use this bird on a branch stamp from Rose's Studio Sweet Sunshine collection. First thing I'm going to do is stamp my little bird, and I'm going to do that on the front of my card blank, just so I don't accidentally stamp on the back of the card. I'm going to put a bit of masking paper there, and I want my little bird to be tweeting down here in the bottom corner of the card, because I want to create a big speech bubble coming out of the bird with my sentiment in. I'm going to stamp the bird in black using VersaFine Onyx Black ink. But I am going to heat emboss it because this ink takes a while to dry, and the heat embossing will essentially make it dry instantaneously. The reason I'm using Onyx Black ink is that it works really well with silicone or acrylic stamps, and that's what this is. So now I'll sprinkle over some superfine clear embossing powder from Wow. And I'll heat that with my heat tool. So that's now a nice deep black ink, glossy, slightly dimensional and smudge proof. For my sentiment, I'm thinking some matte pale copper or rose gold cardstock. So there's our sentiment, and it's going to go about there. I've not stuck anything down yet, but that's what I was thinking. Obviously, if you haven't got lots of different alpha dies, you could do it all in the same one that you do have, or you could use stickers or thickers, or you could stamp it. And again, you don't have to have this stamp. You could have any little critter down there that you've got, die cut or stamped, to create something that's going to say these words in a big speech bubble. Right, now for the speech bubble, I'm going to put a piece of vellum on top here and use it like tracing paper. You could use tracing paper, I just don't have any, I've only got vellum. And I'm going to draw a giant speech bubble that's going to be big enough to encompass those words. And you can make it whatever shape you like. And now I'm going to transfer this onto a piece of masking paper, because I'm going to create my speech bubble through masking. I'm sure you know how to do this, but all you do is rub a pencil on the back of your tracing, and then you flip it over and go over the front to transfer that pencil. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to morph as you transfer and redraw, but that's fine. I'm going to carefully and as smoothly as possible cut that out, and I'll just put that over there to make sure that that works. Yep, that's going to fit everything in. Now, you could, if you wanted, stick that to the front of your card and maybe blend on some colours there to create a colourful speech bubble. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the innards down and add a sky around my speech bubble, because I've got a bird on a branch, so I thought that's probably what I want. Now, masking paper is just very, very low tax sticker paper. When you remove it from the front of your card, it shouldn't tear. So let's pop that by its mouth, but not touching its little beak there. I want a little gap. So I've masked off my speech bubble area, and I need to mask off my bird. so I don't blend sky on him. And I'm using masking fluid for this. You could cut a mask, stamp on a bit of masking paper, cut the mask, stick it over the bird, but there's lots of little flowers that are really fiddly to cut, so I'm just going to cover it in masking fluid. This is usually used with watercolour, but you can use it with ink blending. Masking fluid can take a little while to dry, so don't apply it too thick. So I'll give that a gentle warm with my hairdryer just to get that to dry. So I want to blend some clouds onto my card front, so I'm going to create another mask using a scrap piece of paper. I've drawn some bumpy cloud-like shapes, and I'm going to create those with my scissors like that. If they're not quite right, you can go over them again. The pencil lines are just guidelines, so they don't have to be perfectly cut. So I've got two different rows of clouds there. So we're going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to use Tumble Glass Distress Oxide, which is a lovely pale blue. And when I go over the bird, I want to be quite gentle because you remove masking fluid by rubbing, so I don't want to rub it off. So what I'm going to do is work my way up the card. I can flip my mask over, I can use both sides, and I'm just creating some clouds. I'll just add a little bit of extra blue down the bottom there. Before I take any of the masking off, I'm going to spatter on some pale gold metallic paint just for a bit of sparkle and shine and energy and movement. I want to make sure I get it around the edge of all my masking. I'll dry that with my hairdryer, and that will have the added bonus of softening the adhesive on the back of the masking paper, making it easier to remove. Don't worry if your card warps with all the heating. You can flatten it out again by letting it relax and maybe putting it under a heavy book. Right, there we go. We've got a speech bubble. It's not very speech bubbly down here because there wasn't much blue around the bottom of the mask. So I think I'll just rectify that with a bit of subtle, oops, hang on. That's gone in some black ink. Didn't want that, did we? Where did my blue ink go? There. Okay, I'm going to have to cover up that little black smudge. Never mind, nobody will know. I'm just going to add some blue here along the bottom edge of the mask and around this area. Okay, I'm hoping that's worked out okay. Yeah, so now it's obviously a speech bubble. Now to remove the masking fluid, you can rub over it with your finger or you can use an eraser. Just be gentle. You don't want to rip the paper or mess up your stamping. But it will lift off fairly easily. There we go. He's ready for a bit of colouring. With sentiments like this, it can be a good idea to put the important words like good luck and exams in larger letters, and incidental words like in your can be in smaller letters. Alternatively, you can just pick letters that kind of work together in a block, if you see what I mean. These are all roughly the same width. Exams is a bit wider. So all I'm going to do to stick these down is dip them in a bit of high-tack white glue and place them. I did think about finding my T-square ruler and getting them all beautifully lined up, but I'm going to go for jaunty angles. It's actually easier to stick down. It's easier because you don't have to worry about getting everything lined up. And I think jaunty writing is fun and it's got a lot more energy to it. I'm not worrying about getting glue on the front of my foil because I can wipe that off once it's dry. So that's all in the right place now. I've got some non-stick paper. This is sticker release paper without the stickers on, obviously. And I'll press that down and then everything will stay stuck, hopefully. I can get a bit of dry paper towel or a damp baby wipe and go over my letters to buff off any glue that's on the front. So for my bird, I'm going to make this a little robin because I love robins. And no other reason than that. I'm going to use my watercolours. Just mix up a little bit of colour and paint it on. You could colour this however you like with alcohol markers. Just be aware it might go through to the other side of the card. So you might want to work on a panel rather than straight on the card base. I'm using watercolour. You could use colour pencils, felt tips, water-based markers. Now, I know robins aren't just brown and red, but I'm keeping this really, 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 really simple. Now, for the leaves, let's go for some nice spring green. In the UK, we tend to associate robins with winter and Christmas. I think it's because they really stand out against snow. Not that we get much snow where we are, but they are around all year. A robin is for life, not just for Christmas. So, as I said, keeping it really simple, not doing any shading, just going to colour in with watercolour. And because I heat emboss the stamping, the edges actually are slightly raised, which creates a nice little well, and it makes it really easy not to get watercolour outside the lines. So I think a pink for the blossom. So I'm just going to use a very watery ready pink mix. Oops, she says about not colouring outside the line, and then colours outside the line. And then the middle of the flowers can get a tiny little dot of yellow. I think I might add a little bit of darker green to the leaves. Now, I said I wasn't going to do any shading or anything. I think the leaves need it definitely. Maybe a bit on the underside of the branch. It just stops it looking completely flat, and I think we'll give our robin an extra coat on his beautiful red breast. And I'll make his wing darker, just so he's not so flat as well. No shading, just a little bit of extra darkness. And there you have it, one good luck in your exams card. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's given you some ideas, and I hope to see you back here very soon for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.